The storm arrived without warning that Tuesday evening. Clara Bennett gripped the steering wheel of her delivery van, wipers struggling against sheets of rain. At 29, she had driven these country roads hundreds of times for her small bakery. But tonight felt different. The wind howled, bending trees dangerously close to the asphalt. Through the chaos, she spotted twisted metal and shattered glass. A silver sedan had collided with an oak tree, steam rising from its crumpled hood. Clara pulled over immediately, her heart racing. The elderly driver was conscious, but trapped. Blood trickled from a cut on his forehead, and his breathing came in short gasps. "Sir, can you hear me?" Clara called, rain soaking through her jacket. "My chest hurts," he whispered. George Reed, 73, and usually sharp as a tack, looked fragile and scared. "I cannot move my arm." Clara assessed quickly. The car door was jammed, but the passenger side remained accessible. She climbed around carefully, speaking in calm tones. "I am going to help you out. What is your name?" "George," he managed. "George Reed." Working methodically, Clara helped him slide across the passenger seat, supporting his injured arm. Every movement was deliberate, gentle. She had learned basic first aid when her younger brother was sick years ago, knowledge she never expected to use like this. "My van is warm and dry," she said, helping him stand slowly. "We need to get you to the hospital." George leaned heavily against her smaller frame. Despite being nearly a foot taller, he felt frail, vulnerable. Clara supported him step by step through the rain. During the 20-minute drive to St. Mary's Hospital, George spoke softly. "You stopped for me. Not everyone would." "Anyone would have," Clara replied, though they both knew that was not entirely true. "No," George said firmly. "Not everyone. You have a kind heart, young lady." Clara helped him into the emergency room, staying until medical staff took over. When the nurse asked for her information, Clara simply said, "I was just passing by. He will be fine now." She slipped away before anyone could ask more questions. 3 days later, Ethan Reed sat beside his grandfather's hospital bed. At 36, Ethan ran a successful consulting firm, but nothing had prepared him for nearly losing the man who raised him. "She saved my life, Ethan," George said for the fourth time. A young woman with the kindest eyes. Blonde hair, maybe 28 or 30. She drove a white bakery van. Ethan squeezed his grandfather's hand. "I wish we could thank her." "Find her," George said simply. "I need to thank her properly." The search took 2 weeks. Ethan visited every bakery within 50 miles, showing a photo from the hospital security camera. Finally, at Sweet Haven Bakery on Maple Street, the owner smiled with recognition. "That is Clara Bennett," she said. "She delivers our specialty orders. Wonderful girl, though she keeps to herself mostly." When Ethan arrived at Clara's small bakery the next morning, she was arranging fresh croissants in the display case. She looked up, and he saw the same gentle eyes his grandfather had described. "You saved my grandfather 3 weeks ago," he said quietly. "George Reed. The accident during the storm." Clara's hand stilled. "Is he recovering well?" "Yes, thanks to you." Ethan studied her face, seeing no desire for recognition, only genuine concern. "Why did you leave without saying anything?" Clara shrugged, uncomfortable with the attention. "He needed help. That is what people do." "Not everyone," Ethan said, echoing his grandfather's words. "He would like to meet you again when you are ready." Their friendship grew gradually over the following months. Ethan brought his grandfather for coffee every Saturday, and Clara always had his favorite lemon scones ready. George delighted in sharing stories about Ethan's childhood, while Clara listened with genuine warmth. "You raised a good man," she told George one afternoon. "He learned that himself," George replied, glancing meaningfully between them. The turning point came 6 months later. While volunteering at the children's shelter, Clara met Lila, a quiet 5-year-old with dark curls and watchful eyes. The little girl had been in the system for 2 years, and her guardedness broke Clara's heart. "She reminds me of myself at that age," Clara confided to Ethan during one of their walks. "After my parents died, I felt so lost." Ethan watched Clara with Lila during their next visit. The way she patiently coaxed smiles from the child, never pushing, just offering steady presence. It revealed a depth of nurturing that took his breath away. "Have you ever thought about adoption?" he asked carefully. Clara's eyes filled with tears. "Every day. But single parents face more scrutiny. The process is complicated. What if you were not single?" Ethan asked softly. Clara turned to face him fully. They had grown close, sharing quiet dinners and long conversations. But neither had spoken their feelings aloud. "Ethan," she began. "I love you," he said simply. "Not just for what you did for my grandfather, though that showed me who you are. I love your kindness, your strength, the way you make everyone around you feel valued." Clara took his hand. "I love you too. But Lila cannot be the reason we get married. She deserves parents who are together because they want to be, not because it serves a purpose." "Then we will do this right," Ethan said. "All of it." They married the following spring in George's garden, with Lila as their flower girl. The adoption was finalized 3 months later. On their first Christmas morning as a family, George watched Clara teach Lila how to make sugar cookies, while Ethan attempted to untangle tree lights. "You brought more than just help that stormy night," he told Clara quietly. "You brought love back into this house." Clara smiled, flower in her hair and joy in her heart. Sometimes the most important journeys begin with simply stopping to help. Outside, snow began to fall gently, but inside, their home was filled with warmth, laughter, and a quiet miracle of ordinary kindness that had changed everything.